is the season for festive celebrations and vacations with family and friends. So on the property show today, we keep it light and bring you a new way to own a dream vacation home without shelling out big savings or handling the hassle of remotely managing the real estate. Welcome everyone to a discussion on fractional or part ownership of holiday homes. Now, before we go into the merits and also some risks of this model, here are 4 basic points of how fractional ownership of holiday home really works. Essentially, in this model, you're offered a choice of holiday villas in vacation destinations like Goa, Lonavala, Kasauli, and of course many other destinations by PropTech companies or also known as aggregators of such properties. Now, once you decide that you like the property enough to spend time there every year with your family, you can choose to invest in it along with 3 or 4 other individuals who become co-owners with you in the property. Now, what you get along with the part ownership is the comfort to stay in the property for a month or even more every year, depends on which company you sign up with. Now, when the property is not in use by any of the owners, it's also rented out by the managing company. So there's someone looking after it and it's not lying idle and sucking up your savings. Now, there are quite a few aggregators of holiday homes now, even though it's a very nascent concept in India. And we have 2 of them with us, Aakash Dhillon from BRIKitt and Shravan Gupta from Yours. We also have with us Abhishek Kiran Gupta, CEO of CRE Matrix Indextap, who's on a quest to make real estate buying and selling data-driven and transparent. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being with us here on the show. It's a really holiday season, so it sits right at the center of the mood that we all are in. So Aakash, I'm going to start with you. You're a market leader of this very small, tiny market as of now. So let me ask you, how well has this concept worked out so far in the properties that you own and are, of course, parceling out or offering to clients?
So well said. In India, it's a sort of, one asset market. However, if we look into it, it's a successful and grown up market globally, and that will last 6 decades. With us, it worked really well, and now we are a community of more than 1,000 brick owners and who are spread worldwide. And then talking about the co-ownership as a holiday home. So yes, with us, there are 11 different people who own a particular holiday home all together, and they enjoy multiple benefits with us.
Okay. So are you saying that you have, as of now, how many properties and how many co-owners? Can you just break that down for us?
Sure. So we are in multiple locations as of now, like earlier you said, so we are already on those locations like Lonavala, South Goa, North Goa, Kasauli, Mukteshwar, as well as in Lucknow. And if we, accumulate all together, so we have approximately 1,000 brick owners, and that means we have approximately more than 90 properties as of now we have acquired with these co-owners with us.
Okay, all right. Okay, Shravan, break down what really works in luxury villas. So, BRIKitt is a far more, let's say, affordable segment, and I don't mean affordable in terms of really bringing the prices down, but you're at truly the high end. So tell us, what's the USP, because wealthy buyers are also very, very finicky. Would they want to co-own with absolutely unknown people? What are some of the challenges that you face?
Sure. Thanks for having me on the show, Manisha. And there are 2 parts to the business actually. One side is the real estate investment, and that is an obvious given that how do you participate in this new and exciting asset class, which is ownership of vacation homes. On the other side is the lifestyle angle, and I think that's where the luxury owners really lean towards. And to actually enhance their experience, what we do is we are speccing out our villas to a very high standard. So be it linen, bath products, and so on and so forth. But what's also more important is the soft elements. So we have built our own concierge service that helps all owners plan their vacations at these beautiful homes. So be it car transfers, dinner reservations, barbecue lunches, name it, these services are available. So it's a mix of both the real as well as the service.
Okay. Shravan, tell me, my bigger question is, I'm not buying with my friends and family. You're really bringing together strangers who are now going to co-own the villa, right? They probably will never face each other because they'll probably live there at different times. But can you just run me through, has that been a challenge?
No, it's not really been a challenge. Like you said, they'll never meet each other. And we have
So
built,
how does the booking process happen then? My question is then how does the booking process happen? Because, Mahindra Holidays is a timeshare concept where you can access so many properties of theirs. But the biggest problem is that when it's peak time or peak holiday, which is, let's say, right now or during New Year's, people just don't get booking. How do you manage within your 3 to 4 owners? I'm assuming there are 4, right? That's for each villa.
No, in our case, there are up to 8 owners.
Okay.
And the reason for the number 8 is each owner gets 1/8 of the year to use it, and that's 45 days.
Okay.
And we have built a proprietary algorithm that makes it very democratic for all 8 owners to get a fair share during the year. So if you take the months of December and January in Goa, in one of our villas in Asagaon, for example, there are about 6 owners who have booked during that 2-month period. So there's really no conflict.
No, there are 6 people who booked during that period in different years, that means.
No, at different periods. So we have broken the year into 3 seasons.
Okay, so you've broken it into 3 seasons and then everyone gets a choice of one season or the other. But what if somebody wants New Year's every year?
Yeah, so there, of course, so there is a restriction there. So if they book New Year's this year, they cannot book it next year. They have to give a 1-year gap.
Okay, understood. Yeah. All right, Abhishek, you see the model. So there are 6 owners, 8 owners. In a model like BRIKitt, you could actually just have a very tiny ownership. It looks really, really good on paper, right? That I have this ownership, but I also have some risks associated with this. Can you tell us what should a person be mindful of before jumping with both feet into this model?
Okay. Due diligence at an asset level, I'm assuming it will be done by the partner, but it should still be done by the owner as well, or at least somebody who's participating. Number 2, I personally feel when you're looking at anything which is...
Okay, break down, I'm sorry to interrupt, but break down and simplify due diligence for us. What do you mean by that?
So chase any financial assets or anything which you're buying, chase some founders, brands, so that your money is safe, right? Chase a community where you have, larger set of people working towards it, where money will be safe, because you're not the only person buying it, there are multiple people buying it. So actually, on the contrary, if there are 10 people, it's difficult to fool all 10 at the same time, right? So that itself makes it a little safer instrument, if I may say so. Second, I think the bigger challenge is that Indians, as I think you also touched it upon, is that Indians are still, my house. They have that feeling of ownership. So I think given that this market is niche, there'll have to be some learning required at the Indian mindset level. I think that could be one challenge that I look at. And more importantly, Indians are very used to saying that anything that we buy should be looked upon as an ROI perspective, right? I think this particular asset is not just ROI. This is also that leisure, that recreation, and COVID has taught us that more than ever before, right? We have started living with our family more. We have found some hobbies maybe, which we didn't have earlier because we were at home all the time. So I think this is a great model. It's small right now, but I think it's a great future. Okay.
So you're saying that it has a really solid future because people are now living more in or wanting to live more in second home destinations. Akash, tell me about the ROI. So in ROI, there are 2 ways. One is that I take a small share of this holiday home. I have the option of going and living there for a certain number of days with my family or friends. What is the sort of appreciation that you talk to when you actually promise something to the investor, and what is the exit that you give? At some point of time, I might get tired of the destination and tired of that real estate and say, I want to move to another villa or I want to move to another apartment in a different location. How do you make that possible?
So earlier, as I told you that we have multiple locations, so we do also offer exchange to our owners, like my owner can own a property, let's say in Goa particularly, and owning just one property at one location with us, he can use any of our property of any location within the community. Like already we are in Lonavala, South Goa, North Goa, Kasoli, Mukteshwar. More, we are upcoming with more locations like Shimla, Solan, Dubai, Canada, Ooty. So as time we are expanding, my owners will be having more and more options for that exchange. So yes, ultimately with us, none of my owners will never ever get bored of visiting the same property again and again.
But so yours is a timeshare model, but in a real estate form. So you have to have some
That's
amount of ownership. But then again, as your numbers increase of owners, right, you'll face the same
That's right.
problem as Mahindra Holidays.
No, see, Mahindra Holidays have that problem because there is a probability of one property or one unit with n number of owners because they are selling membership on monthly basis and they are not developing more resorts on that kind of time frame. However, with us, you get always a probability of one unit with 11 owners only. So that makes us,
So there is a restriction of number of owners in one property. So it's 11 owners. Exit. Suppose I don't want to be with, owning a vacation home. I have an emergency. I would like to exit. What do you do then?
Okay, so as it is a community-driven model, and anyone, whenever he wants to get exit, so we have to understand the process while the, registering the properties in the starting of the process. So what we do, we form an SPV, we appoint all these 11 co-owners as an equal shareholders, and that in that SPV, and that the registration of the property is done in the name of that particular SPV only. So whenever a owner wants to get exit from it, simply we will liquidate his own shareholding to someone else, to a new buyer, and that owner can exit from that ownership, and that too on the appreciated value of the property.
Okay.
It's quite simple.
All right. So that's very easily explained. So there is no, is there a lock-in period? First 3 years you cannot sell any lock-in?
So fortunately with BRIKitt, my owners do not have any kind of lock-in period. However, we suggest our owners, like ultimately they have invested their hard-earned money into a real estate asset. So we request them, we suggest them to wait at least for 5 to 7 years. Otherwise, technically, we do not have any kind of lock-in period with us.
Okay. Shravan, in your sort of villa co-ownership, what is the kind of returns that you indicate to those who co-invest, and what is the exit that you promise?
Right. So with yours, the villas are designed for owners' use only. We don't allow them to let it out, either on any of the platforms. But they can, of course, invite their friends and family. They could send anyone to stay at their villa. It's their home, after all, for 45 days in a year. And in terms of exit, it's very simple. They could exit. They could sell their share to anyone they want to, or they could put it up on our marketplace, and we help them, sell those shares. What we found very interesting is a lot of owners are leaning towards owning one share in a Goa villa, another share in a Nilgiris villa. That way, with two fractions, they actually have 90 days in two completely different destinations.
Okay. Abhishek, what is the market size you see in the Indian market? Any number, or at least in terms of growth? You mentioned you see a strong future, but where could this market lead or go to?
So, I think it's going to be with the high end or the Indian pyramid at the top end only for now, because they are the ones who are seasoned investors. They are the ones who can afford to take risks. So we are only at the top of the iceberg. I don't have a number to say because it's a very niche market right now. But I completely agree with both models are very different to each other.
Yes.
And I think, as I said earlier, Indians are now ready than ever before to spend their money, because I think COVID has taught a little bit of a rude shock to people. They also want to spend time recreation. They want to spend time on a hobby. There's one thing I want to mention. If I have 1 crore rupees, I can buy one villa in Lonavala. Versus now, I can buy a 10 crore villa and enjoy those luxuries and maintenance by only owning 10%. Therefore, if I have 10 crores, I can own 10 villas. So not 90 days, I can be there out.
That's exactly that's exactly what BRIKitt's model is. So very quickly, Aakash, do you want to tell me what's the minimum investment size or the maximum investment size? Give me an average that you look at or you would expect anybody to put up front for a BRIKitt ownership.
Okay. So when we started BRIKitt, we wanted to make it a product for the mass. Like, many of the platforms in India, they're offering some niche properties to niche clients only. So we wanted to fulfill that aspiration of owning a holiday home for each and every citizen in our country. So the investment with us, it starts just from 5 to 6 lakh rupees, and it can go up to anywhere. Like right now we are having some properties which have a brick value of 32.5 lakh rupees as well.
Okay.
So it starts with 5-6 lakh rupees initially.
Going up to about 32-33 lakhs. Shravan, of course, there are two very different models and markets, and that's why I have both of you, because, you know, the audience must understand what the range of offerings are in the market.
Absolutely, absolutely. So our villas, at present range from 50 lakh rupees a share and go all the way up to 2 crore rupees a share.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. This is a very interesting discussion, and I'm going to just sum up for the audience. In fractional holiday home models, what you get is co-own a house or a villa or an apartment, use part of it part of the year. And of course, in some models, it is rented out when not in use, but in the other high-end models, it's probably not rented out. You can carry it forward or gift your friends the usage of that villa. Of course, on the other side, we are going to be back with the big news of the week, the big slump in the British pound and what it means for buying property in London. After all, Indians are the biggest owners of property in London, even more than the English themselves.